All we need is education. All we need is love.
Picture this. The first bass line drops. And suddenly you're back in a crowded dance, a packed bus, or your parents' living room, feeling every note in your chest. That's the power of reggae. It doesn't just play, it stays with you. In this video, we're counting down 15 reggae songs we'll never forget. From festival anthems and lovers' rock classics to spiritual roots and modern street poetry, these are the tracks that refuse to fade away, the ones that still pull you in from the very first bar. So turn the volume up, forget the stress for a while, and tell me in the comments which song takes you straight back the moment you hear it. Let's start the journey with number 15. I still remember the first time Cherry O Baby really landed on me. Not just as a nice song on the radio, but as a moment. It was a hot afternoon, the kind where the sun feels like it's sitting on your shoulders. Somebody had a small sound system set up in the lane. Nothing fancy, just 2 dusty speakers and a turntable that had seen better days. Kids were running around, old men were playing dominoes, and someone dropped the needle on this record. The first thing that caught me wasn't even the lyrics. It was the feeling, that easy bouncing rhythm, like the music was smiling at you. Eric Donaldson's voice came in soft but sure, sweet but not weak, singing about this girl, this Cherry, like she was the whole world wrapped up in one person. And you know what? In that moment, everyone in the lane had their own Cherry. For some, it was a first love. For others, it was a memory of someone they let go. For me, it was that simple kind of happiness you only get when life is hard, but the music is sweet. When Cherry O Baby won the festival song competition in 1971, it wasn't just about a trophy. It was like Jamaica looking in the mirror and seeing itself smiling back. This was a song that could work at a street dance, a family gathering, or on a bus ride with cheap speakers hissing in the background. Over the years, I heard it come back in different versions, covered, flipped, reworked, and every time it showed up, even in rock and pop spaces, it felt like a little piece of home slipping into the global soundtrack. That's why it sits at number 15. Not because it's small, but because it's one of those early flames, sweet, bright, and impossible to forget.
I'm going to that mansion in Zion.
If Cherry O Baby is a smile, Bam Bam is a stance. The first time I really felt this tune was at a dance where the bass was heavy enough to rattle your ribs. The selector pulled up the track 3 times before the first verse even played, and every time that famous "What a Bam Bam" dropped, the whole place shouted it back like an oath.
Where I'm going to that mansion.
I remember watching the girls in the crowd, confident, unbothered, owning the space, and realizing this song wasn't just a rhythm. It was a statement. Here was Sister Nancy, a woman in a male-dominated dance hall world, standing on top of one of the hardest rhythms and writing it like she was born there.
What are you worried about? And I one thing on Nancy me can't understand.
Not begging for space, not asking permission, just taking it. I didn't know, back then, how far Bam Bam would travel. I didn't know it would become one of the most sampled reggae tracks in history, showing up in hip-hop, pop, commercials, films, everywhere. But I did know this. Whenever that song played, the energy shifted. It was like the dance got a spine. The women in the crowd stood a little taller. The men had to respect it or move out of the way.
If you know that Jah is keeping you, what are you worried about?
Hearing Bam Bam blast through bad speakers, through car windows, through headphones, in every era, on every device, has been like watching a flag you grew up with suddenly appear on every continent. Number 14 isn't just a tune you remember, it's a voice you'll never forget. Some songs are so big, they stop feeling like songs and start feeling like memories you share with millions of strangers. That's what No Woman, No Cry became. I wasn't at the Lyceum in London in 1975, but the live recording makes you feel like you were.
I remember when we used to.
The crowd noise, the little imperfections, the way Marley talks to the people. You can almost feel the sweat and the smoke in the air. The first time I heard that live version all the way through, I was sitting on a worn-out couch, dealing with problems that felt bigger than me. Bills, family trouble. Uncertainty about the future, the kind of heaviness you don't always talk about, but you carry around like a stone in your chest. Then this song came on. It wasn't just the chorus that hit me, though Everything's Gonna Be Alright has dried a lot of tears in this world.
In the government yard in Trenchtown.
It was the verses too, the way he painted Trenchtown with words. The government yard, the cornmeal porridge, the simple days, the harder days, the friends who didn't make it as far as you did. Listening to that live performance, I felt like he wasn't talking at the crowd. He was talking for them, for us, for every person who has ever looked around and thought, life is rough, but I'm still here. And that's the real power of this song. It doesn't pretend everything is fine. It doesn't deny the struggle. Instead, it sits with you in the struggle and still dares to say, don't cry, you're not alone. We've made it through worse. Over the years, I've heard this song at funerals, barbecues, protests, small gatherings where someone finally breaks down and someone else puts an arm around them. It always carries the same quiet promise.
In the government yard in Trenchtown.
That's why at number 13, No Woman, No Cry isn't just a reggae classic. It's a lifeline. By the time we reach number 11, the mood changes again. If you grew up around sound systems, Here I Come by Barrington Levy is not just a song you know, it's almost like a sound effect from your childhood. That shiddly waddly diddly style of his, that sing-jay flow, was unlike anything else at the time.
Sing, extra size, extra size, extra.
I remember one particular night, outdoor dance, dust kicking up under people's shoes, wires running like vines to big iron speakers. The selector dropped this track, and before the first full line, the crowd already knew what was coming.
Okay, no, it's like a stage show. You have man that swing, DJ, and blow. Pull it down it.
Brothers and sisters. The voice cut through the night like a warning and a welcome at the same time. What struck me most was how effortless Barrington sounded. He wasn't forcing the melody, he wasn't over-singing. He just glided over the rhythm, half singing, half talking.
And the intercom rose, it tell me to come. That she didn't have a daughter, she did have a son.
Like someone telling you a story in a yard, but with a mic in his hand and the whole world listening. Every time I hear this song, it reminds me of that golden bridge between roots and dancehall. The era when the message was still there, but the style was shifting. More slang, more swagger, more street edge.
Extra size, extra size, extra size of them size way.
For the young ones around me then, Here I Come was a blueprint. This is how you stand in front of a rhythm. This is how you write it with confidence. This is how you make a crowd move with just your voice. You hear its influence in so many artists that came after. Sing-jays, DJs, even modern dancehall and reggae fusion singers.
Extra size of them size way. Extra broad, extra.
It set a standard. You don't just sing on a track, you live on it. That's why Here I Come sits at number 11 in these foundation flames. It's not just unforgettable. It's the sound of a whole style being born in real time. The first time I truly felt Satta Massagana, I wasn't in a big concert hall or a fancy venue. I was in a little yard with cracked concrete, zinc fence, and a speaker box that looked like it had been built from leftover wood and pure faith. The sound man put on this record, and at first I thought it was just another roots tune. But then those opening notes came in, that slow, steady, meditative rhythm, and the voices of the Abyssinians rose up like a prayer. I didn't understand all the words at first. Some of it was in Amharic, the ancient language of Ethiopia. But that almost made it more powerful. It felt like a secret code shared between earth and heaven, between Jamaica and Africa, between the struggle now and some ancient story we were finally remembering. People in the yard got quiet, not silent like a church, but calm like a family, listening to a story they all know by heart. A couple of the elders closed their eyes. One man lifted his hand slightly, as if the song was carrying him somewhere higher. Over time, I started to realize just how deep this tune really goes. Satta Massagana isn't just a song you hear sometimes. It's one of the most versioned and reworked rhythms in reggae history. It shows up everywhere, in sound clashes, in roots sets, in dub, in live shows. And every time it appears, it brings that same feeling of reverence. For me, this song is like a doorway into Rastafari, a doorway into roots reggae's spiritual side, a reminder that reggae was never just about dancing, it was also about prayer, prophecy, and identity. That's why it opens this section at number 10. It's not just a classic. It's a hymn for a whole people. If Satta Massagana is the prayer, Police and Thieves is the news report, and the protest chant rolled into one. I first heard it blasting from a sound system on a night when the streets felt tense. You could feel the energy. Too many young men with not enough to do, too many sirens in the distance, too many stories about drop this track. From the first high, sharp, haunting note of Junior Mervin's voice, you could tell this wasn't just another tune. His falsetto cut through the noise like a warning siren of its own. When he sang, "Police and thieves in the street, scaring the nation with their guns and ammunition," it felt less like lyrics and more like a headline. I remember a man standing next to me, smoking slowly, and saying, "You hear that? That's right now."
All the peacemakers turn away.
He was talking about the tension, the mistrust, the feeling that both the criminals and the authorities could be dangerous in different ways. And then there was the production. Lee Scratch Perry's genius all over it. The way the rhythm rolled forward but still felt eerie, like footsteps in a dark alley. The echo on the vocals. The way the drums and bass seemed to argue with each other and still walk in perfect step.
No one tried to stop it.
Later I learned the song didn't just stay in Jamaica. It traveled. Punk bands in the UK picked it up. People far away from Trenchtown and Kingston connected with it because their own cities had the same battles, the same fear, the same broken trust between people and power. That's the thing about Police and Thieves. It's rooted in a very specific reality, but it speaks a universal truth. When violence and authority clash, it's the ordinary people stuck in the middle who feel it the most.
All the peacemakers turn.
Number 9 isn't just a roots anthem. It's a mirror that too many societies still recognize. There are songs you analyze and songs you just feel. Three Little Birds is one you feel. The first time this one really took hold of me, I wasn't at a dance or a show. I was going through a rough period, one of those stretches where it feels like everything is going wrong at the same time.
Three little birds.
Money short, job uncertain, family stress, your mind running faster than you can sleep. A friend of mine, seeing the way I was walking around with the world on my shoulders, handed me a cassette and said, "Listen to this one track, just this one."
This morning was a rising sun.
I went home, put the tape in, pressed play, and there it was. The rhythm was simple, almost deceptively so. A gentle bounce, cheerful, but not silly. Then Marley's voice came in. "Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right."
Was a rising sun.
At first, I almost brushed it off. Life didn't feel all right. But then the song played again, and again, and somewhere between the third and fourth repeat, something in me loosened.
About the thing. 'Cause every
What makes this song so powerful is that it doesn't deny pain. It doesn't list your problems and try to fix them. It just stands in the middle of them, like sunlight breaking through a small window, and reminds you that worry alone doesn't carry you anywhere.
thing. 'Cause every little thing.
Over time, I started to notice where this song shows up. At children's parties, at funerals, at sports events, on acoustic guitars at the beach, in small bars with one speaker and big dreams.
About the thing.
It's become one of those tunes that people of all ages from all over the world know by heart, even if they don't know the album, the year, or the context. All they know is that when those three little birds sing on the doorstep, something inside them relaxes. At number 8, this isn't just a feel-good track. It's Reggay's universal hug, short, simple, and unforgettable.
Come on. Fella, it's a case of imagine.
If the earlier songs in this section are about prayer, protest, and comfort, Night Nurse is about something else entirely. Desire, wrapped in pure elegance.
Come on. Make it quick.
I remember hearing this one late one night on a small radio, the kind with a bit of static no matter how you turned the dial. The world outside was quiet, but Gregory Isaac's voice didn't need a big system to sound powerful. It slipped into the room smooth and confident, like someone stepping through a door already knowing they're welcome.
I need a tender sunlight and surround the
Tell her try her best just to make it quick. From the first line, you know what kind of song this is. A man in need, but not begging. More like confessing. The rhythm is slow but firm, the bass line walking steady, giving him room to pour his feelings out.
But there's no prescription for me.
What made it special to me wasn't just the theme. Lovers Rock had many songs about love, lust, heartbreak, and longing. It was the balance in his delivery. Gregory Isaacs was never overdramatic. He didn't scream. He didn't strain. He glided. He made craving sound classy.
But there's no prescription for me.
I saw how this song changed the energy in a room. When Night Nurse played at a dance, couples moved a little closer. Some people got shy and looked at their shoes. Others locked eyes and didn't look away. It was as if the music gave everyone permission to admit they needed somebody.
But there's no prescription for me.
Over the years, the song has stayed fresh. It gets rediscovered by new generations, sampled, covered, reintroduced in films and playlists. But the core feeling is the same, the late-night confession, the soft pleading wrapped in charm. That's why it sits at number 7.
Make it quick. Oh, the pain is getting worse.
Not every unforgettable reggae song is about revolution or struggle. Some are about the human heart at 2 a.m. when the lights are low and the cravings are loud. We close this section with a song that always felt, to me, like a message in a bottle sent straight to the world. The first time I heard Greetings, it was on a street corner with a little radio perched in a shop window. The sound wasn't loud, but it was clear enough. Half Pint's voice came through bright and youthful, but with a seriousness under it that you couldn't ignore. Greetings I bring from Jah. That opening line alone felt like a banner being raised. This wasn't just another dance hall tune about girls or gun talk. This was spiritual content in a modern package. Roots wisdom delivered with a lighter, fresher bounce. What struck me was how simple the song was. No complicated arrangement, no overdone production, just a strong rhythm, a clean melody, and a voice that sounded both humble and sure. It felt like listening to a letter being read out loud. A letter reminding you that no matter how wild the world gets, there's still a higher power watching, still a moral compass somewhere inside you. In the dances, this one always did something special. Even the hardcore rude boys would nod along quietly. The elders approved. The youths felt seen. It was like a bridge between generations. Roots heads, dance hall fans, churchgoers, street kids. Everybody could take something from it. Over time, I realized how rare that is. Plenty of songs hit. Plenty of songs run the place for a season. But only a few manage to feel timeless without sounding old. Greetings is one of those. That's why it closes this chapter at number 6. It's a reminder that even in the fast, loud world of dancehall, there's room for spirit, conscience, and humility, all delivered with style. I still remember the first time I saw the video for Pass the Dutchie. You have to understand, reggae on TV back then, especially with kids front and center, felt like something unusual. These weren't big, bearded roots elders or hardcore dancehall DJs.
So I left my gate and went out for a walk.
These were school-aged youths in uniforms, singing over a heavy rhythm with the confidence of veterans. The beat itself was already familiar in reggae circles, drawn from Pass the Coochie by the Mighty Diamonds. But musical youth flipped it, cleaned up the lyrics for a younger audience, and somehow made it even more infectious. The word Dutchie became this mysterious thing to a lot of kids who had no idea about the original context. All they knew was, pass the Dutchie pawn the left-hand side. It was one of those hooks that just stuck. I remember walking past a shop and seeing a little crowd pressed up against the TV in the window. The sound was low, but people were nodding along, smiling at how young the band members looked. There was a kind of pride in the air, too, like, look at that, reggae running the place and its children leading the charge. In the UK, the song just exploded. It went to number 1, and suddenly reggae wasn't just something coming from Jamaica. It was something Caribbean kids in Britain were using to speak for themselves, to show their faces, to claim space in a country that didn't always welcome them warmly. For me, Pass the Dutchie is unforgettable, because it represents that moment where reggae didn't just cross over. It skipped across borders in a school uniform and dared the whole world to sing along. If Pass the Dutchie felt like a global playground, War by Culture felt like a sermon in the middle of a storm. The first time I heard Joseph Hill's voice over this rhythm, it wasn't background music, it was the center of the room. We were at a little gathering, not quite a party, more like a reasoning session. People were talking politics, talking about how life was getting tighter, prices going up, opportunities closing down. Then someone put on War. Joseph Hill didn't sound like a man trying to entertain. He sounded like a messenger. The way he delivered those lines, it was as if the song itself was reading from a sacred scroll, warning, accusing, pleading, prophesying, all at once. The rhythm was roots to the bone, heavy, marching, serious. No gimmicks, no sweetness to soften the blows. Just a beat that sounded like boots on hot pavement and a voice that told you clearly, Babylon system is not your friend. I remember looking around the room and seeing how people reacted. Some nodded slowly. Some looked down at the floor, like the song was exposing thoughts they hadn't put into words. A few sang along with their eyes closed, already familiar with every line. What makes War unforgettable isn't just its lyrics or its rhythm. It's the feeling that this song was bigger than the moment it was recorded, that it was talking about the past, the present, and the future all at once. When you hear it in times of tension, protests, unrest, uncertainty, it doesn't feel outdated. It feels like it was written for right now. That's why it sits at number 4. War isn't just a reggae classic. It's a prophecy set to a drum and bass line. Before reggae was fully reggae in the way the world knows it now, there was this voice, sharp, urgent, full of character, cutting through small radios and big speakers alike. That voice belonged to Desmond Dekker. I first came across Israelites not as a historic song, but as a tune my older relatives already knew, word for word. The rhythm is almost ska, almost rocksteady, sitting right on that border, but the feeling is pure early reggae struggle. Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir. Even if you didn't catch every word at first, you felt the weight of it. This was a working-class anthem before that phrase was popular. A man tired of the grind, tired of the pressure, tired of the system that kept him hustling just to stay afloat. I remember seeing how older folks reacted to it. They didn't dance wild. They moved in this slow, knowing way. A little head nod, a soft hum, as if the song was telling a story they'd lived themselves, getting up early, working hard, still feeling like it's never enough. Then, as I got deeper into music history, I realized how big this song actually was. Israelites wasn't just popular in Jamaica, it was one of the first songs from a Jamaican artist to properly crack international charts. The UK, Europe, beyond. Long before Marley became a global symbol, Desmond Dekker kicked open a door many people didn't even know existed. For the world, Israelites was one of the first times they heard that Jamaican accent, that patois, that rhythmic storytelling on mainstream radio. For the people at home, it was confirmation that their experiences had a sound, and that sound could travel. Number 3 belongs here because without songs like Israelites, a lot of what came after might have had a harder time getting through. By the time Oh Carolina hit, reggae and dancehall had already spread far and wide. But Shaggy brought something else to the table. This playful, booming, unmistakable voice that sounded like it could shake the walls of any club. Oh, Carolina is a girl. The first time I really felt the impact of Oh Carolina, I was in a party where the DJ was mixing all kinds of genres, hip-hop, R&B, dancehall, pop. Then he dropped this track, and the response was instant. People who didn't know one word of patois were suddenly trying to sing along. The song itself is a reimagining of a much older tune by the Folks Brothers, but Shaggy, along with the production that leaned into modern dancehall and pop sensibilities, turned it into something new. The beat had that early 90s punch, the kind that made you move, even if you were pretending not to. And Shaggy's delivery walked this perfect line between rough and fun. I remember thinking, this one is going to travel. You could just tell. And it did. Oh Carolina went global. Big chart positions, big TV appearances, the whole package. For a lot of people outside the Caribbean, this was their first taste of Shaggy. Before Boombastic, before It Wasn't Me, there was this track, loud and confident, announcing that a new star had arrived. What I loved most, though, was the reaction it got from different generations. Young people loved the energy. Older heads smiled at the nod to the original. It was like the past and the present having a little dance together on the same floor. That's why it's at number 2. Oh Carolina is one of those songs that proves reggae and dancehall can be modern, global, and still rooted in tradition at the same time.
Them can't stop it. Some say them a playboy rabbit.
And now we're at number 1, the point where the whole journey lands in the 21st century with a thunderclap. I remember exactly where I was when I first heard Welcome to Jamrock. I was in a car, stuck in traffic, heat leaking in through half-open windows.
Police come in a jeep and them can't stop it. Some say them a playboy.
Someone in another car had their system turned all the way up, and this heavy, menacing, hypnotic rhythm came crawling through the air. Then that voice cut in. Damian Marley, sharp and focused, riding the beat like it was built for him alone. Out in the streets, they call it murder.
Then we learn. Them start pit with the pin file long and it happy.
That line alone changed the whole mood of the road. Heads turned. A few people started to nod in unison, like we'd all just been called to attention. This wasn't feel-good reggae. This wasn't party dance hall. This was a report, a warning, and a challenge, all rolled into one. The rhythm itself had a roots feel, but the mix, the aggression, the structure, it was modern. The lyrics didn't sugarcoat anything. Poverty, corruption, violence, tourism versus reality. It was like someone had taken newscasts, street corners, and whispered conversations and turned them into verses.
Police come in a jeep and them can't stop it. Some say them a playboy.
I saw how young people reacted to it. This wasn't their parents' Marley. This was their Marley. Dreadlocks, streetwise, unafraid. The track connected on a global level too. Hip-hop fans respected it. Rock audiences felt the power.
Out in the street, they call it.
Even people who had never really listened to reggae suddenly started paying attention. When the Grammys came and the song and album earned that recognition, it didn't feel like the industry discovering something new. It felt like the world finally admitting what the streets already knew. Damien had delivered an anthem for a generation living through chaos, inequality, and survival hustle. For me, Welcome to Jamrock is unforgettable because it closed the circle. From the early days of Israelites to the roots fire of war to the crossover waves of Past the Duchy and Oh Carolina, reggae had always talked about struggle and identity. But with Welcome to Jamrock, those themes were thrown into the glare of the modern world with no filter and no apology. That's why it stands at number 1, not just as a great song, but as a global giant that reminded everyone. Reggae is still here, still watching, still telling the truth. Baseline first. If you enjoyed this episode, then go watch this video.